My name is Evelyn Harper. I am 38 years old and I live in the rainy city of Portland, Oregon. Life has been a strange journey for me, marked by strange twists, but also surprising moments of joy and resilience. I never thought that 7 years after marrying Mark, a man who once felt crushed under the weight of a toxic marriage, I would find myself in the middle of a chaotic battle against a ghost from his past, a ghost with a murderous history hiding behind a mask of charm. Mark and I met after he had survived what can only be described as psychological hell with his ex-wife, a woman named Bate. Bate was more than just difficult. She was a master manipulator, someone who hid a dangerous past behind a public front full of smiles and sweet lies. Mark told me how Bate had been like a dark storm cloud over his life, breaking him down, making him question his own worth every single day. She was a high-ranking sales queen in a makeup company known for glitter and pink luxury cars, but beneath the surface, she ruled with manipulation and cruelty. Their marriage was a twisted play of public affection and private torture, a nightmare from which Mark could barely wake. I remember the day she left him like it was yesterday. One moment, she was crying on stage, showering Mark with praise and love in front of everyone, making herself look like the perfect wife. And the next day, she emptied their home, disappearing completely as if she was a thief in the night. Mark was left with nothing but the broken furniture and the scars she left in his mind. He told me he gave her everything, the house, the car, even the money she demanded during their divorce, just so she would be gone. He wanted peace more than he wanted to fight back. For years, Mark tried to rebuild himself with the help of therapy and his own determination. When we met, what struck me most was his strength, the way he loved life again, and the gentle kindness he showed everyone around him. We built a life together, happy and calm, or so I thought. Then one afternoon, he came home shaken after scouring the internet and old documents he had stumbled on secretly, a dirty secret about Bate that made my blood run cold. Bate, his ex-wife, had once been charged with murder. It was her boyfriend years before Mark, someone who met a sudden and suspicious death. The official story was an accident, a gun that went off by mistake, but Mark had seen the evidence that told a darker story, a bullet fired point-blank into the back of a man's head. Somehow, Bate had slipped away from justice, probably because of her cunning manipulations and holes in the legal system. What shocked me even more was that now, after all these years, Bate had managed to pull one of Mark's closest friends, Kylie, into her circle by convincing her to join the same manipulative makeup company as a sales representative. Mark was furious, not just because his friend was being used, but because he knew what Bate was capable of, a woman who destroys lives without a second thought. Yet, he was cautious. He did not want to hurt others in the company who were innocent, nor did he want Bate to know that he was digging into her past again. I understood his fear. Bate was a dangerous woman, still weaving her web of lies and control in the shadows of a happy-looking business empire. At first, Mark tried small things to warn Kylie and others, dropping hints and expressing concern, but it was like shouting at the wind. Bate's influence was strong and seductive. The more Mark tried, the clearer it became that the problem was larger and deeper than we had imagined. Bate had poisoned not just him, but his entire circle of friends, and now, innocent women were at risk of falling into her trap. We felt powerless, watching her manipulate from behind her pink car dreams and perfect social media posts. One chilly evening, after yet another failed attempt to convince Kylie to leave the company, Mark looked at me with tired eyes and said, "Evelyn, she has to be stopped. Before anyone else is hurt, before her past kills more than just people's happiness." I knew then that we had to do something bigger. We began gathering evidence, stories from former victims, proof of her manipulative tactics, and the undeniable murder record hidden by smiles. It was a dangerous mission. We had to be careful not to alert Bate, who was skilled at turning every situation to her advantage. Our plan formed slowly, like a shadow growing longer as the sun set. We would expose Bate to the company's leadership and to everyone in her network, peeling back the layers of deception she had spent years building. Mark wanted to protect Kylie and others, and I wanted to see justice for him and everyone else who had suffered in silence. The hardest part was when Bate caught wind of our efforts. She confronted Mark with a venomous rage that chilled us both. She threatened everything, his career, our safety, even the fragile peace we had built. It felt like the ground beneath us was cracking open. But in that moment, Mark found a strength I had never seen before. Not just the strength to fight back, but the strength to finally let go of the fear she had chained him with for so many years. Together, we took our evidence to the company's headquarters, where the upper management was shocked and horrified by Bates' true history. The company promised an independent investigation, and Bates' empire within that made-up world began to crumble almost immediately. News spread quickly, and even those who once admired Bates began to see the darkness beneath the makeup-covered smile. The fallout was brutal for her. But for Mark and for me, it was a rebirth, a chance to reclaim the life she almost stole from us. As weeks passed, Mark reconnected with friends who had distanced themselves, people who now saw him as the survivor and hero he truly was. Kylie left the company and started rebuilding her confidence for the first time in years. And I saw my husband take back the light in his eyes, the laughter he thought was lost forever. Our life in Portland went back to its peaceful rhythm, but something had changed deep inside us both, a fierce, quiet resilience that no darkness could ever touch again. One final twist came months later when Bates was arrested, not just because of our exposure but new evidence uncovered by the company's investigation. The authorities had reopened her case, finding the truth the first trial missed. Justice, at last, had caught up with her. I hold on to that moment every day, a reminder that even the most twisted lies and deadliest secrets can be brought to light, and that sometimes love and courage are the greatest revenge of all.